ridiculous today. It's overcast. It rained yesterday and last night, so black flies are terrible. So we gotta batten down the hatches, keep covered completely. But we're gonna go get some wood chipped and get this place cleaned up a little bit. There's our pile of wood chips. It is gorgeous today. It was really foggy this morning, but today, right now, I mean, it's just beautiful. It's perfect weather today. So we're gonna head down to the camp and do some cleanup down there. We haven't done anything down there at all since we bought it, really. So we gotta get down there and do a bunch of stuff. So we got the truck loaded up with everything we need. We gotta do some weed whacking. We gotta fix up the outhouse a little bit, clean up inside. So we got a whole bunch of stuff on here. Alright, let's see what we're dealing with inside the camp here. There's the kitchen with the stove that doesn't work. It's a cool stove, but only one burner works apparently. A little miscellaneous pots and pans. Bunch of dishes and stuff, so that's good. Oh, there's bowls. That one's empty. That one's got some foil and some paper. Cool little lantern up there. Might have to take that home. That's the kitchen. This is the living room. Just gotta do all kinds of straightening up in here. To hang the deer heads up. And the bedroom, which is Yeah, it's got a lot of bedding. So, hopefully by the time I'm done, everything's going to be nicely stacked up on this bed, nice and neat, and this bed will be usable. Jeff is outside with the blade on the weed whacker, cutting down some of the big stuff. So, this is what we did today. Just did some weed whacking all the way around. Cleaned up the front porch. Got rid of a bunch of junk that was up here. Looks much better. We didn't do anything around here. Jeff did the weed eating, but other than that, nothing else is done here. Inside, it's a little dark in here, but didn't do anything in the kitchen. We actually added to the mess in here, but swept the floor, cleaned that up a little bit. In here, covered the ugly pull-out bed, cleaned up all this. Made the bed. Pretty white duvet on there. Straightened up. Put the moose antlers up. Jeff's deer head. Another one over there. Definitely an improvement. Today I am going to try and fix our mantle piece. When it was cut, our neighbor was quite generous and let us use his sawmill, or he used the sawmill to help cut the pieces of oak that we want to use for our mantle, but they're both cut at different angles, so we need to try to figure out how to get them to be the same, and I think I've got it figured out. It's just got to put them together. So this one looks like this, so it's flat across the top, down this way, and then flat across the bottom. The other one you can see on the end here, this is the original cut, and it curves more down to the bottom underneath, but we want it to curve flat on top, flat on the bottom, equal distance. So what I did was I took the two pieces that were cut off and I put them back on the top to create this curve that we want at the top on the front, and we're going to have to cut some off the bottom to match the other one. But before I can screw this down, I need to figure out how deep the screws are going to go so that when we cut the bottom off, we're not going to hit the screws that go down through here. Does that make sense? Kind of makes sense to me. But before I do that, I have to get some measurements and figure out how deep those screws are actually going to go. The other piece that I have that's cut the way we want it is 4 1/4 inches. So from the top to here needs to be 4 1/4 inches. So I will just put a mark at 4 1/4. So that's how much is going to have to be cut off the bottom. If I use the 2 1/2 inch screws, yeah, that should be fine. There's lots of, you got another full inch here where to leave room for the screws so they won't be sawing through any of the screw heads. I have to take this, take it apart, just give it all a light sanding. I can't run it through a planer or anything like that because that'll mess up the front edge. It'll take too much off and mess up the front edge. So I'm just going to run over it with the sander, and then I'm going to put it together with some construction adhesive and a bunch of screws. Now I've got both boards glued together. I think it looks pretty good. It's been sitting here for a day like this, so time to take the clamps off and see what it looks like. Drilled some 3/8 holes in the top so we can get some plugs put in there. And here's the front. Yeah, it's pretty hard to tell. Oh, this screw on. Pretty hard to tell that I pieced it back together once I get it sanded, and hopefully everything looks good. So what I need to do next is cut off this excess that's hanging over. So I've set up a rip fence. My board is not straight, but this is not straight. So I've just set it up to cut this excess off. Bent my board a little bit so it works. I'm just going to grab the circular saw and zip that off. I don't like being a lefty using right-handed tools. And let's go have a quick look at my garden because it's looking really good right now. First, there's my pepper plants. They're looking pretty nice. No flowers yet, but I imagine it won't be long and they'll start to flower. I got a milkweed over there too. Hopefully we get a couple of butterflies. Tomato plants, they're doing really well. I put the baskets on yesterday. And my beans. Hopefully next year I've got a bigger garden, but this one's got lots of flowers on it already. As long as the deer don't come and eat it, I think I'm going to get some vegetables off my garden this year.